Testing. Testing, testing. Will you say
something? Testing, testing, testing.
Welcome. Today we're actually heading out of town about an hour and 20 minutes south on a little road trip to my favorite garden center. The garden center is where we're from, where I grew up. We recently moved up here about 3 years ago. So my mom lives nearby, so she's agreed to meet us. It's a really pretty rainy day here in Eastern Washington. I've got the girls loaded up and we've got our drinks. We're ready to go. Sophie's got her Stanley with some, it's Egyptian licorice mint tea, right? Yeah, that is a really nice tea. It's like the Aveda tea if you've ever tried that. I love it. It's my favorite too. And then Louie, little Louisa back here, you're having tea too, aren't you? Yes. And then I'm just having my hot black coffee, which I love coffee. I especially love coffee when it's rainy. I've been chatting with the garden center for the past couple weeks. There's a couple perennials I'm looking for my back hillside garden, or the hill as I call it. It gets full sun and during the summer it's just very hot. So what I'm trying to do is find a way to kind of cool it down with some nice lush green foliage and perennials that have cool colors, purples, chartreuse, whites, and just all sorts of different textures so that when you look at this hillside, it's a little more visually cool. So the garden center, Max is what it's called. The people there got a hold of me and said, some of your perennials are in. And so today I'm going to go and pick up a bunch of hardy geraniums. Should we go? Look who we found! It's Dee Dee time!
Hi!
If you were following along last Christmas, you might remember my mom. Her name is Cheryl. We call her Dee Dee.
That's right.
She gave us a tour of her house for Christmas and we had a lot of fun. So she's going to join us today as we go to Max. And you are looking for...
azaleas. Two azaleas.
You're one of the lucky few people who successfully grows azaleas in our area, I feel like.
Well, I think they're in the right spot.
That's true.
They get a lot of shade.
They're really pretty.
Yeah.
So we're going to head to Max.
Yes.
All right, we made it. Lots of pretty color, lots of containers.
I like that big green pot over there. Do you like that one too?
Very pretty. I like this one right here. Mom, do you like this one?
I do. I like that. I do like that.
I do too. Do you want to do your azaleas first?
Oh, sure. Do you mind? They're over that way, I think.
Oh, yes, let's. This is what you're thinking?
Yeah, but I like those healthier looking ones better.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go look through that small.
You're gonna go with those?
This one. Oh, maybe. Let's see, maybe they're sold. Look at all the vegetables they have.
Yeah.
Forage. Oh,
And
what
herbs.
Is that forage?
Yeah, forage.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Isn't that the one that kind of goes wild if you plant it?
Yeah,
But then you can
It just went crazy.
make different things with them. I want to make a little,
chamomile.
yeah. I want to make a little cocktail garden
Oh, that's a good idea.
on my back deck.
You know, my child is going crazy right now at home.
Mine is too. Ours is nice and
I
happy.
love chives. I love chives. Yeah, they're super, and they smell so good. So, what are you going to put in your cocktail garden? Like basil?
Yes, I want to do a big thing of basil, probably in a different pot. Mint,
Oh, yeah.
just, different things. Okay, I found the hardy geranium. It looks really pretty. So they have more than 3. I think they have 6 here. This guy back here is a little small. What did you find?
Pink. Princess Alexandra. I like pink.
These are David Austin
Here's
roses.
Roald Dahl. He wrote Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh. Very pretty.
Are you looking for what color, hey?
David Austin?
Well, I mean, what color?
I would like a climbing rose, either pale pink
Well,
or a white, but I'm very open. I say that, and then I would get any color basically.
I don't think these are climbing.
These are
Shrubs.
pretty. Look at their little pots
oh,
that they
nice.
come in.
Yeah. Look at that's the Emily Bronte. It's the lightest of pinks. Look at that
Ooh,
with a
see,
slightly
that's
yellow.
really pretty.
That is pretty.
Oh, what does that mean? Does it say?
8 foot.
8 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty.
I don't know how much they are though.
Are you gonna get one?
No, I don't really have a place for them right now.
Sophie, is it lunchtime?
Yes, it is.
We had a successful trip to Max, so now we're nice and hungry and ready for some lunch. So,
Yeah.
yay!
Hey, we're hungry.
So we're gonna find somewhere and get something to eat. Should we go on a little tour of your spring flowers?
Yeah, they're not really all blooming yet, but we'll see what we can see.
Okay,
We bought these today.
so here's the new azalea.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go look where they're gonna go?
Yeah. All I really have right now is pansies. This is how it starts.
This is your blue
My big
hydrangea.
blue one, and it looks terrible now, but it really does turn into a really tall, pretty.
It's really pretty, and it's one of those endless summer
Yeah,
type that you can just get like at Walmart, right?
that's my, yeah. And so I think Mom got it for me for Mother's Day one.
Got your pansies here,
Yeah.
and these are your little.
Yeah.
I got these for my mom from Andrew's Seed, which if you follow Garden Answer, that is her parents' garden center in Eastern Oregon. Got another pot out there. Very
These are
pretty.
gonna bloom soon. See how they're opening the dog? This is a really pretty dark pink dogwood. Both of these are. And they're getting to where they're opening up.
Mm-hmm.
These are some other azaleas that weren't like what we normally grow. And we are taking out and putting those new ones in that are the same type of azalea.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be a little kind of
Yeah,
nice.
this is I think one that was supposed to go like year round. And I think they grow really well in the south.
These little
Violas.
Mhm, those are very pretty. These azaleas, those will get to be a very striking, just full of hot pink blooms, right?
Yeah.
Just had people stop and ask her what kind of shrubs these are. So little hydrangea here.
Yeah, pansies. The maple, Japanese maple.
Is this a rhododendron?
Yes. This one is actually a mini rhododendron, and then this is a regular one.
A regular rhododendron?
Yeah.
Which we also kind of have a hard time growing here, but
Yeah.
this is the
North side of the house,
okay.
yeah, so it's shady.
very good. And then here's your new soon-to-be pasture land back here. You're gonna plant grass pasture out
Yeah, he's
beyond.
putting irrigation in too.
All right, it is the next day. We had a really great day yesterday. It was so much fun shopping at Max and then visiting with my mom, and we had a pretty treacherous drive home. It rained the whole way. There was one part of our drive where it rained the hardest rain I've ever seen in my life. It was so loud and I could barely see out the windshield. It only lasted about 5 minutes, but it felt like way longer. So by the time I got home, I was a little zapped, so I held off on planting, and it was still raining. So today's the day. It's about 50 degrees, nice and cool. We are supposed to warm up next week. It's spring break for my family, so that'll be really nice, and these plants should start taking off. So let me show you what I got yesterday. So I ended up grabbing 6 different hardy geranium, and these are the Roseanne Cranesbill variety. They were an award-winning perennial in 2008, known for their light blue, purple flowers, and they're said to bloom all summer long. So I'm really excited to have some color on our hillside. I grabbed 6. I'm hoping that'll be enough. If they get more in, I might have to grab more later on. And then my youngest daughter saw this purple phlox. And I love phlox. We used to have a bright pink phlox at our last house that was just beautiful. I looked forward to it every spring. So I thought, purple is one of the colors I'd like to incorporate. And it's a good idea to kind of plan your blooms for the different seasons. So this is a spring blooming perennial. So we'll have some nice, pretty purple color greet us when spring comes each year. So that'll be great. So this is the hillside behind us. We have our chicken coop right here, and I need to clean this bed up and plant some pretty things here. But it extends the whole back border of our property. This hill gets full exposure to the sun, especially in the summer, and it starts to feel really hot back here, like you're just kind of baking. Last year we went in and added some mulch. I like the dark, smaller chipped mulch. Adding the mulch really helped this area feel cooler. You can see some areas that I need to add more, and it's kind of slid down the hill. But I think what we really need to focus on now is adding different perennials that will spread out and start to really hold the soil. Both for aesthetically pleasing purposes and to help with any erosion, because you can see that the mulch starts sliding, the soil starts sliding up above. I should explain, up above those poor little arborvitaes, that's actually an old railroad track. People actually use it as a walking path now. So you can see that this hillside, those arborvitaes have been struggling since we bought our house You can see this one here is doing well for some reason, and then those other little ones are scraggling. And then of course over here, these ones are nice and large. So it looks like to me the former owner went in and tried to replace a few that had struggled, and these ones are just continuing to struggle. And I think it's because the hillside, it's just hard to hold moisture on a slope like this. I did go in last year and try to create some wells for these arborvitae, and I checked all their drip lines and they're just continuing to struggle. So at this point, I think we're going to take them out and replace them. I'm kind of thinking of adding in, I need to research a little bit. I'm thinking about adding something like a black lace elderberry. I think a nice dark color there would create a really pretty contrast with all the green. And those are said to grow very quickly. So I'm looking for something that will fill in this space and give us a little bit of privacy, since we do get some people walking up here. So when I was looking for inspiration pictures for this hillside garden, I had this picture in my mind and I started researching online, and I've never found something that matches what's in my head so perfectly than the garden of a woman named Ellie Gilbert. I found her garden on Garden Gate Magazine's YouTube channel. It's called Hillside Beauty. It is beautiful, and it's exactly the look I'm going for here. It's a sloped garden full of all sorts of different green textures, foliage, and cool, serene colors. So she mentioned she used the hardygeranium, and that's what just popped to me. So hardygeranium is the first thing I'm going to be putting in my hillside garden. I've said before, but we are so lucky with who we purchased our house from. They established such a pretty yard, such nice landscaping, that I get to just come in and add the icing on the cake. So we have so many beautiful things that provide a nice structure already. You can see a boxwood, creeping juniper, of course the arborvitae. We do have a lot of healthy ones over there. This really pretty tree gets really purple dark leaves in the summer, creates great shade over there. We have so many burning bushes. These are green in the spring and summer, and then bright red in the fall. In the winter they look kind of sparse like this, but all other seasons they're beautiful. And then of course we have our evergreens, which if you watch my videos, you know I love to forage all sorts of greens for my Christmas projects. So much beautiful structure to work with already. So one of the things I like to do is stand up here on my deck and look at the hillside up and down and kind of check my different sight lines and imagine where I want to see little purple clusters kind of creeping out, so that they're very visual, but also kind of nestled in a cozy, cottagey sort of way. And this view, I just like it because I can look down this way, I can look this way, I can look straight on, and I feel like I have a good vantage point. So now I'll start placing them. Okay, I have everything placed, and I tried to kind of keep it balanced but not perfect, and not necessarily in relation to each other. So you can see these two are kind of like, it seems like they should be more centered, but keep in mind I'm going to be adding lots more perennials. So I'm just trying to create different little spots of color. I do plan on doing a lamb's ear border along this concrete kind of border here to kind of soften that up. So I'm going to be filling this in. I'm trying to put the color closer to the edge of the flower bed so that it can really pop and be nice and visible. Later on, I'll start kind of nestling more color up the hillside. But for now, I'm trying to kind of keep away from that until we deal with these arborvitae, because I know we're going to be getting in there and roughing up that area. So I'm trying to kind of just keep everything at the front of the bed for now. So I'm going to go in. You can see our soil is pretty dry and rocky. It's moist right now because we had good rain yesterday, but I'm going to go ahead and amend it with some soil conditioner, some good compost, and then I don't have biotone, which is a starter fertilizer, but I do have plant tone. I'm going to go ahead and mix those in with the native soil and really give these plants a nice boost. One thing that was kind of funny when I was researching the hardy geranium was I saw somewhere where it said does best in low nutrient soil, and I thought, oh, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a good start and then just kind of ignore them and just see how it goes. All right, we are all planted. They sure look a lot smaller once you get them in the ground. So we have one there. That one's in a little bit shadier of a location. We've got one of our phlox here. I was having to dodge tulips as I was digging. Geranium there. A little phlox here. Geranium. Geranium. Phlox. We've got a salvia. That's a purple salvia. Geranium. And then our last geranium is right over here by the chicken coop. So I'm excited. They're in the ground. Now we get to just take care of them and watch them grow and spread. Okay, last little thing before I get busy finishing things up. I thought I killed this clematis. I had it in a pot last year and I surrounded it with alyssum. And then I fertilized it nearly to death before realizing they don't really love being over-fertilized. So as a last-ditch effort, I moved it out here by my chicken coop. And just a few weeks ago, I noticed little heads poking up. I used my plant identification app and it said this was a peony. I wish it was a peony. but it's our clematis. So what I'm going to do, because I did find out that clematis aren't super compatible with chickens, so I'm going to quickly transplant this guy. I think what I'm going to do is use this obelisk and put it up on the hillside, because that clematis is a deep purple color, so it will fit in with my color scheme perfectly. So I'm going to find a spot that is sunny but has enough shade to where the clematis roots are shaded. This is going to take a little more work stabilizing that obelisk and making sure it's straight. But for now, this is the general idea. I think this burning bush here, once it leaves out in the summer, will provide some nice protection for the roots of the clematis. So we'll just see how it goes. And then I think it'll be really pretty. We'll get this all mulched. It'll be all dark. And we'll have a nice vine growing up the obelisk, and then hopefully get those arborvitaes removed and replaced with something else. All right, everything is planted. I went around and fertilized all my perennials in the back hillside area. All I have left to do is go back through and just water everything in. I know it rained yesterday. I just want to give everything a quick little soak, get out any air pockets, and just make sure that the roots can establish and the plant can get settled into its new location. So as for drip systems, I do have drip lines running all throughout this hillside. I'm not connecting them yet, but come late April, early May, when we turn our water back on, I'll go through each plant and make sure it's hooked up to the drip line. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's always fun going to Max for the first time this season, and then having my mom join us was also really fun. And then of course planting, getting out and actually working in the soil and getting pretty things going so that you can look forward to them this coming season is always just really satisfying, and it makes you feel really good. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.